Good evening, one and all. I welcome everyone to this mesmerizing session today. So, we shall begin with our school prayer. O hidden life, vibrant in every atom. O hidden light, shining in every creature. O hidden love, embracing all in oneness. May each who feels himself as one with thee know he is also one with every other. Thank you. So now it's the time to welcome our speaker, Tanistha ji. So here it goes. Tanistha Arora is a lawyer turned therapist, writer, entrepreneur, and journal and creativity coach. She is a recipient of Rai Kedarnath Gold Medal awarded during graduation. She is a founder of the Cosmical Spirit, an integrated wellness offering solutions, scientific, psychological, spiritual, and metaphysical solutions. Her work includes an approach of all the metaphysical solutions, tools, and techniques she learned professionally in her training and during her own journey of personal transformation, like hypnotherapy, regression therapy, inner child healing, metaphysical anatomy, art and creativity, journaling, divination tools, and angel therapies. She writes on spirituality, relationships, lifestyle, and mind sciences. She is a multi-passionate person with varied interests like Kathak, yoga, art, travel, books, etc. She has worked with people facilitating their healing journeys to rediscover themselves and uncover their passion and purpose. Non-judgment, open space, compassion, and presence are some of the key elements of her work. So we are so happy to welcome you, Tanistha ji. So here goes, it's your platform now. So kindly take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a lovely introduction. And it would be more helpful to all of us if you all guys can come on camera, if it is visible to you. So the topic for today that I have chosen for this talk is, let me share my screen. Let me know if it is visible to you.
No.
You can let me know in the chat box if my screen is visible to you.
Yes, completely.
Thank you. So the topic is creativity and self-expression as a form of spiritual practice. Why did I choose this topic for today? Because to me personally, in my life, creativity has given a lot of breakthroughs and it has brought me closer to life. It has taught me the meaning of life. It has taught me the meaning of meditation. It has taught me the meaning of spirituality. So I thought no better topic than this. So before I begin, I invite all of you who all are present here, and to each and everyone who will be watching this recording later on, to be with me and be with this presentation for the next 1 hour. Whatever you were doing before this presentation, before this talk, can stay for a while. And whatever tasks you're gonna do after 1 hour can also wait for a while. For the next 1 hour, you'll be completely with yourself and just remain open to whatever comes to you. And it is my intention that each and every word that I speak unleash the creativity consciousness that is lying within each one of us. So that's my intention for today's session. And I hope that you all receive it with grace and openness. So the flow of my talk will be divided into 3 segments, since there are 3 keywords in my topic. First being creativity, second being expression, And third, spiritual practice. So let's start with creativity first. So when you hear the word creativity, just let me know what comes to you. Just one single word that comes to you first when you hear the word creativity. You can let me know in the chat box, just one word. And I'll be waiting for your answers. Okay, I'll go first. So there used to be a time in my life where I used to think creativity just means painting, drawing, dance, or maybe music, maybe baking, sculpting, something like that. And for that, we need to have a particular skill set or a talent in my life, or maybe I need time to practice all those things, learn it from someone, pursue it as my pursuits, and only then I'll be called a creative person, or for that matter, an artistic person. Sangeeta ma'am says expression, Ankit says inner expression, Krishnamurti ji says thinking or doing differently. Yeah, each and everything that you wrote here is true. So, only to realize it in my life that creativity as a whole, as a holistic concept, is very much different than what we have been taught in our schools, by our teachers, in our education system, or for that matter, people around us. So I'll start with my understanding of what creativity is. It might resonate with you, it might not resonate with you. So if it resonates with you, just take it. So this word is a creation by the creator, by the source. We all are a manifestation of his creativity, and we all are a part of this particular creation. It's a fact. It's not something that I'm saying out of nowhere. Whatever I said, it's a universal fact. So going by this statement, creativity as consciousness in its purest form is there within each one of us, every single individual, every single human being. Creativity is the substratum on which this entire universe has been built. You go around, you see nature, you see plants, you see animals. All these things are part of this entire creation. So when I say that creativity is there within each one of us, what happens? It lies dormant. Because the definition of creativity has been distorted by all of us. And now I come to my second concept. What is distorted creativity, or the myths and misconceptions which is related to creativity? There are many myths which we have been told since our childhood. There are certain beliefs which we have been given with respect to creativity, and we understand them as truths. So one of the myths, one of the beliefs that we have been taught is that creativity has a certain age in our life. Let's say it's for the children, it's not for the adults. All right. Another myth is it's for a particular section of the society. You know, it's there for upper middle class or high class. It's not for the people who belongs to the middle strata of the society. Or for that matter, it's for the girls, it's not for the boys. You know, we have attached gender connotation to creativity. Or a particular form of creativity is there for the men, and a particular form of creativity is there for the female. All right. Another myth which is attached to creativity is that we need a particular time in a particular day, or we need to dedicate us, so much amount of time in doing something which we want to do. Apart from that, there are other beliefs that there are certain rules, regulations, conventions related to creativity. This particular thing is supposed to be like that. This has to be like that. It should be like that. So we have been labeled with so much of should be's, must be's, that we forget the essence of what creativity is. All right. So or for that matter, that creativity is for the person that creativity is a luxurious concept. It's not for the sustenance. I'll share a very small anecdote that just happened few weeks back in my life, and it just changed the entire concept of creativity. So, it's being said that children are the best teachers. They are the form of living God on earth. So as I was spending some time with my nephew, and he was drawing tricolor Indian Tiranga on a piece of paper. And since he was very small, his hands were shaking. He was not able to put the scale on the drawing sheet properly. So, the lines were a little slanting rather than straight. And his mother came to him and said that you're not supposed to draw like that. The tricolor is always straight. Why are you making and drawing slanting lines? And he's just 5 years old. And that kid replied, but mom, a hoisting flag which is waving is never straight. So how I am supposed to draw something which is waving straight on the piece of paper? Just because I have been told that I have to draw a static tricolor on a piece of paper. And to me, I never looked at creativity with something like that, because we have been taught that, you are supposed to make a particular thing or a particular image in a particular way, but there can be different ways of doing the same thing. So, just look at in your life, very, very simple. A woman has this. So when I say that art is not a luxury, it's sustenance, and it's there in every mundane thing, it's everywhere. We need to open our eyes. When I see my mother draping a 6-feet sari on a body, to me, it's creativity. I can never do that. When I see a CA playing with numbers and mathematics on his screen, to me, it's creative. I can never do that. When I see a cook, utilizing the leftover food and creating something beautiful out of it, to me, it's creativity. I can never do that. A healer who can make his or her client, come back, go after the session with a smile, to me, it's creativity. So each and every person, each and every human being which is there, the flow of creativity is there within all of us. It's just like we think in a particular way, which we have been told, because we have certain beliefs with respect to creativity that are given to us with conditioning, education system, teachers, parents, family, society, that we lose the essence of who we are as a creative person. And creativity is not just being in, as an art form. We think that creativity just means, if you're involved in some dance, if you're involved in music, if you are a baker, if you're a chef, if you are a cook, or for that matter, if you are an educator or a makeup artist, that means you are a creative person. Otherwise, any other profession that you are involved, that's not creativity. No. So today I want all of you, when you go back after the session, just have a look from your schedule, when you wake up till you sleep in the night, and see if you can watch and observe your actions, whatever you perform in a day, consciously or unconsciously, from the angle and perspective of creativity. It can be as simple as, let me explain this with an example. If I go to my mother and I'm not feeling good, something within me, and she holds me with compassion, and in that moment I just feel that the heaviness from my shoulder has been dropped off. That's her artistic and creative expression of giving her love and compassion through from her heart to me. So that's creativity only. So creativity is not just physical pursuits. It's in your every action, every deed. If you start looking your actions from the perspective and angle of creativity and art, it will come back to you in multiple ways, I'm telling you. And so when I say that creativity is a life force, what does it mean? The life force which is there within every human being, within every plant creature on the planet Earth. We all are alive because of this life force which is moving in all of us. You can call it prana, you can call it chi energy. And this life force is the force of the source, is the force of the creator. And when we tap into and when we come in the alignment of the frequency of the life force which is there moving within all of us, we uncover certain gifts in our life. So it's not like that these gifts were not there. Of course, they were there. It's just like they were dormant in our lives. And we need to rediscover them, those gifts which are there within each one of us. So one thing which will always help you to know what your gifts are, what your soul gifts are, is what it is that comes naturally to you. And you can do it all your life, no matter what. Secondly, everything that you create, it can be anything. Why I am saying it in general terms? Because to me, creativity is everywhere. I just can't give you an example of a painting or a dancer or something like that. Anything that you create with your imagination is always a product of your subconscious mind. It might seem that it is coming from your conscious mind, but that originality always is a product of your subconscious mind. All right. So, yeah. One more thing which I would like to explain here is when you live your life and when you start looking at your actions in life from the perspective of creativity, it starts healing every single aspect of your life. I have seen people healing their physical diseases, healing their mental and emotional issues, healing their traumas, and really coming out beautifully in such a way just by tapping into and unleashing the creative force, that creativity consciousness, which is lying within each one of us. So now, okay, so before I move on to the next concept, if there is anything which you want to say, speak, or ask, maybe you can write it in the chat box, or how did you receive what I just shared with you? Just one word in the chat box. I'll give you a moment to do so. So one more thing which I would like to share, and it is just coming to me, but there is one more belief which we have been told. And that belief is, if you do something like that, it's good. And if you do it in another way, it's bad. So when it comes to art, or for that matter, anything that you create or comes out of it, it's neither good nor bad. It's just as it is. It's something that you created. It's your creation, and it's as sacred and as divine in its purest form as it is. It is our labeling that we see it as good or bad. So from today onwards, whenever you look at anything, be it a piece of creation, or you do something in your life. It can be anything. For that matter, if you start a particular hobby and you do something, just see as it is. No good, no bad. And art is an art, period. It is sacred, it is divine, it's a gift to the universe, it's a gift to yourself, it's a gift that you have received from God. It is something that has flowed through you. So, there was a quote which I read few years back in my life. And that quote said that when you dance like there is no difference between the dance and the dancer. What does it mean? It means when you tap into that frequency of creativity consciousness, which I am saying again and again, creativity consciousness, you come in union with the source, you come in union with the force of the universe. And it is that union which is being portrayed to the audience. And that looks divine to the audience. And they say, no, there is no difference between the dancer and the dance. So what's happening there? It's like the union of, you with the God, because you tap into the frequency of creativity consciousness, life force consciousness at that point of time. So, and it is not only restricted to dance. All I am saying, every action, every deed that you do, it can be as mundane as doing laundry, doing dishes, cooking your food, sitting on the laptop, taking your calls, doing the emails, talking to your family, to your friends, to your partner, the very daily mundane things. Start looking at each one of them from the perspective of creativity. So now comes the next part of my talk, and that is expression. So creativity as a life force, creativity as a form of energy needs something to come out. And when it comes out, when it flows through us, it's like expression. That's the expressive energy, expression consciousness within us. So when I say the word expression, it does not necessarily always mean words and communication. We think that the word expression means communicating ourselves, or having a good vocabulary, or using your emotions to express yourself. But to me, expression is much more than that. A person who is not able to talk, who is deaf or who is dumb, or someone who is mentally challenged, who is not able to, vocalize what he or she wants to say, that even that person can be expressive. So expression as a term is way beyond, again, what we have been taught what expression is. And expression is a form of energy which is very much powerful, and it is real. So every creative force needs some expression in our lives. Let me explain this. What does expression mean? To know what your individual unique expression is, you should know who you truly are. And when you set yourself on the path of realizing who you truly are, you set yourself on the path of knowing how you can express yourself to the world in your authenticity, in your truest forms, and not someone who you have been taught, or the things that you have gathered and accumulated over time since your childhood. So you as a person has its expression, but you as a soul has its own expression. So the expression that I am talking here is more about the expression of your soul. your expression as a person can be tainted by the things that you have learned since your childhood, from the societal setup, from the education setup, or for that matter, from the religious setup. But your expression as a soul is pure, is not tainted by any of the things. And that soul expression is what, your authentic expression is. And when you tap into the frequency of that authentic expression in this lifetime, which is your soul dharma, why you came here onto this earth, is to know who you really are, is to tap into what your soul is longing for, is to bring to the world what your soul came here for, is to know what your gifts are, is to rediscovering yourself, is to tap into the frequency and embodying who you truly are. And, giving these offering to the world, that is the expression that your soul is longing for. So your soul came here to rediscover its expression, and at the same time using that expression to offer herself or himself to the world at large. It is being said that the only obligation, and it's a quote by one of my favorite authors, Richard Burke, and it says that your only obligation on this planet Earth is to who you truly are. So one of the questions that you can ask yourself, which will help you to set yourself on the path of knowing who you truly are, is, what do I love to do and what comes naturally to me? What it is something that I can do all my life without getting tired, even if there is no, hypothetically, even if there is, no appreciation for it. And I can do it. It comes naturally to me because I love to do it. That's your authentic expression. And in that moment, you don't think about what your parents will say, what your family will say, whether this particular thing will bring money in your life or not. Because you are so much aligned with the expression of your soul that nothing in this universe worries you. You step into the unknown zone. And when you take that courage and step into the unknown zone of it, remember, the universe always supports you. You no longer fear whether you'll be supported or not, because when you tap and align with the expression of your soul, it opens gateways and avenues in your life which you have never thought of. And this unique, so all these things which I'm saying, this expression is unique to every single individual. It's like our DNA, it's like our print, it's like our fingerprints, which is unique to every individual. Similarly, that unique signature, that unique expression is different for different individuals. And there is one more thing which I would like to share here with you all is, so the last word that I have wrote here is inward to outward. So to rediscover yourself, to know what your expression is, you should know who you truly are. You should know yourself, and only then you will be able to express yourself in various forms. And that inner expression, how it comes. So I have one mantra in my life, and that mantra is, whatever has happened, is happening, or will happen, is taking me towards the realization of who I am truly. So all the fights that you have been through, all the traumas that you have been through, all the conditioning, learning, each and everything that has happened till this present moment has helped you to know who you truly are if you have given a thought to it. So that's a part of your inner expression. You try to know yourself, who you truly are. It comes to you. And then when you accept, when you truly accept all the things that have happened to you, honor your desires, honor your dreams, honor your creativity, honor your expression, you will come in complete union with your inner expression. It gives you strength. It gives you courage. It brings you peace. It brings you healing. It's like a meditative state. It's like a realization, the self-realization that we talk in the healing journey or in the spiritual journey. And from that space, when you put yourself out in the world to create, to offer, to give it in any form, in any structure, that's your outward expression. All right. So it's like a poet who has been through a lot in his or her life finds his inner expression in poetry and gives a book of poetry to the world. So it's like the inner expression leading its way to the outer expression in the form of a poetry book. So that's just one example that I shared with you. To me, that's what expression is. And every individual came to this planet Earth with at least one purpose, is to express his or her soul in its full potential, in its full entirety to the world. Because that will bring freedom, ultimate freedom that the soul is seeking. And now, the third keyword of the topic, and that is spiritual practice. So to me personally, it took me a lot to understand and actually embody this concept, which I'm sharing with you now. I used to think that spiritual practice just means yoga, meditation, chanting, kriya yoga, doing certain things, what we have been taught. So I'm a writer, and I never looked at my writing as a spiritual practice initially. I used to think, so this is just my hobby, just for my, for my pursuit. It brings me happiness. I enjoy it. And my spiritual practice is different. I meditate and, I go for yoga. Or for that matter, I spend time in nature. That's my spiritual practice. This is my hobby. Only to realize that when I write, it brings me to the exact same state which I experience in a meditation. It can be any form of meditation. Provided I am fully devoted and put my heart and soul into whatever I'm doing. Because I lose a sense of myself when I write. I lose the track of time and space when I write. And that's what happens in my meditation, in our meditation. That's what we understand with what meditation is. That you lose a track of time and space. You lose who you really are. You lose yourself. You lose the senses of your environment. So to me, every creative pursuit, it can be dance for a dancer. It can be a piece of writing for a writer. It can be a poetry for a poet. It can be a food for a cook. Or for that matter, it can be the daily course of what our mothers do at home. It's all a part and form of what meditation, or for that matter, any spiritual practice is. So what it has done in my life, it has, bridged the gap of the distinction that I make in my life. Okay, this action is spiritual and this action is not spiritual. When I, let's say, dedicate half an hour to my meditation, this half an hour is for my meditation and this part is for other activities. No. When I journal, when I write, or for that matter, when I am speaking to you in this talk, to me, it's a spiritual practice. It's like meditation, because I'm just involved here. I'm totally 100% present to each and every individual who is present into whatever I'm saying here. So whatever you do and whatever pursuit that you do in your creativity, if you are 100% involved and present with what you do, fully focused and concentrated, it's a meditative practice. And when we start looking at, things in our life, that creativity in our life, that it's spiritual in nature. To me, there is nothing more divine than this. When you create something, we say it belongs to me, but it never belongs to you. It comes through you. It flows through you. It comes from the source. It comes from that universal energy, it's like a antenna which you plug in. You take it, you receive it, it flows through you. You write it down, you paint it down, you dance through it, whatever it is, it flows through you. So when you connect with that universal energy, when you connect with the higher self to receive and bring it out to the world, it's spiritual, it's meditative in nature. It's not something else. When you act as a medium and a channel and an instrument, when you create something, it's spiritual. Anything that you create, you are always a medium, a channel, and an instrument to it. It comes through you. So it's not something that you think. Even that idea has been planted by the universal energy. The imagination that you have in your mind, it's a part of the universal force, that universal energy. Every step, let's say every dance move that comes through your body like a wave, your body is an instrument, while it's in attunement to the universal energy. And that's meditative. You have seen Sufi people dancing in the vortex, being in alignment with the universal energy, going rounds and rounds and rounds. That's meditation. So when that happens, when you, tap into that energy, when you open yourself to receive the ideas, the imagination that the universe wants you to give, and it wants you to flow through you. It wants to choose you as a medium, as a channel, and as an instrument. And you allow yourself to be a medium, channel, and instrument, because sometimes what happens, we are chosen, but then we don't allow ourselves to, go through it. We ask ourselves, oh, is this really happening? Am I really worthy to, bring this out to the world? Or if this particular piece of form of creation, is it really worthwhile to come to the world? So when we allow ourselves to be a medium, channel, and instrument, and offer that piece of creativity to the world, you bring your passion, you bring your purpose, and you bring service. All three things entirely into that creation, and that is sacred and divine. Right. So one thing which the last two things with respect to spiritual practice which I would like to share is, so there is a lot of talk with respect to the masculine energies and feminine energies when it comes to spirituality, or many people talk about it. To me, whenever we involve ourselves in any creative process, in any artistic process, you come to a state of balance. The imagination, the ideas that comes through you is feminine in nature. And when you give it a form, a structure, it's masculine in nature. So, I always used to struggle with, and I believe every human being struggle with this balancing of our masculine energies and feminine energies, and to, fully feel whole within ourselves when these two energies are in union. To me, when I involve myself in any creativity, I'm in 100% balance of masculine and feminine, because when I open myself, when I allow myself to receive, and when I give birth to it, birth to the creativity, that's feminine in nature. Birth to a particular form of art. Even when I'm speaking, it's the birth of the words that are coming through me. It's feminine in nature. the form, the structure with which it is coming out, it's masculine in nature. So you are operating from both the energies of masculinity and femininity when you involve yourself in any creative pursuit. And the last part is 7 chakras. So I never thought about it like that. Honestly, it is just an hour before this talk, while I was reading something, it just came to me that how creativity is not just related to 2 chakras, it is related to all the 7 chakras that are present in our body. So let's start with the first chakra, the root chakra, which is the Mooladhara chakra. The sense of calmness, peace that you feel as an individual when you create something, when you involve yourself in the process of creation, it brings you a sense of stability and security. It is not something which is coming from the outside. It's an inner security and stability that comes to you with the peace when you involve yourself in a creative pursuit. So that strengthens your root chakra. Coming to the next chakra, which is your sacral chakra or the Swadhisthana chakra. The passion with which you create something, the birthing of a creation, the birthing of something which you want to put out, it comes from your sacral chakra. Then comes the solar plexus, the third chakra, which is the Manipura chakra. The power that you feel when you create something, the inner sovereignty that you feel when you create something comes from your solar plexus. Then comes the fourth chakra, the heart chakra, Anahat. Without opening yourself, you can't create something. So the love that you feel when you create something, the openness, that unknown zone that you have in your heart when you create something is coming from your heart chakra. Then your throat chakra, your Vishuddhi chakra. Your expression is directly, your throat chakra is the seat of your expression. When you look at your piece of creativity or art of creativity as worthy, as divine, as sacred, it is coming from your throat chakra. Then comes your third eye, your Agya chakra. The vision that you have before creating something, the visuals that you have before creating something, the imagination that you have in your mind before creating something is coming from your third eye. And then the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, Sahasrara. So it's like an antenna, connection to the divine, connection to the source, connection to the higher self. When you act as a medium, as a channel, receiving something from the universe, it's your crown chakra that is at its operation. So, to me, whenever I again and again rewriting the same statement, when you involve yourself in creating something, in any creativity, it can be any form. It can be a piece of writing, it can be cooking, it can be, sports, anything. Just start looking at it from the perspective that it is spiritual in nature. You don't need to do any other practice to align your chakras or for that matter, any meditation that you do. But you need to 100% believe in it. That to me, this is divine. To me, this is devotion. To me, this is like a spiritual practice. You can't create something if you are not devoted to it. You can't create something if you don't put your whole heart and soul into it. Your bhakti, your devotion is required to bring something. Like a mother is devoted to the child when it gives birth to the child. A writer is devoted to the book when he writes. A dancer is devoted to the dance when he dances. every single thing that you do and you want to create, if you bring the element of devotion into it, it becomes a spiritual practice by itself. And now, so these are few reflective questions that I put for you, and maybe you can take a screenshot, or you can, whenever you go back to this recording again. So even though these questions look very simple, but they are very profound and deep in nature. So how you can practice that? Just allow yourself to receive the answers that needs to come to you. Ground yourself, sit in a stillness position, close your eyes, take a piece of pen or paper, and see what comes to you. And I'm sure something will shift, even if the answer does not come, but something on a very subtle level will shift. Because the journey of realizing who you truly are, even a single element of that journey, brings you immense peace and freedom, I'm telling you. Because all our lives, we have been taught so much lies about ourselves, so much lies about who we are, about our personality, what we should do, what we should not do, what we are supposed to do, that we forget the essence of who we truly are. We don't really give time, space to what we really desire, to what our soul is here for on this planet Earth. So I would like to read these questions, which I have put it for you all. First being, do you think human creativity matters? Second, if you could be the person of your dreams, who you could be? Third, who you were before the world told you who you should be. And that's the state of a child. Before the world told him or her that this is who you are, by putting a tag, okay, this is your name, this is your religion, this is your state. You know, you're born in this particular caste. You're supposed to be like that. You're born in a business class family, so you're supposed to do that. No, you're not supposed to pursue something else because this is an entirely different concept for the family. And we are made to live the lives of others and not living the life which is in alignment with our soul expression. If you were 100% financially free, what would you do for a living? One of the things that we have been taught with respect to art and creativity, that it doesn't bring you money. You can't monetize your talents. Or for that matter, you know, you'll go crazy. You'll have, you know, long hairs and you'll be aloof, different from the society. People will look at you, oh, you know, who is this guy or who is this person? But no. Problem arises when we don't believe that I can monetize my talents. I can monetize my skills. So how can I receive money? You know, this just come naturally to me. Because you don't feel worthy of receiving money and you just take your talents and skills for granted. Since it has been given to you so naturally. We have been wired, if you don't put any hard work to something, or you don't struggle for something, that money is not good to be received. So if I am not putting hard work or struggling in my life, how can I receive money for something that comes naturally to me? You know, we all know about this lady who charges 1 lakh for just draping a sari. Her price starts with just 1 lakh. So it's not about, you know, money. It's about the sense of freedom she feels when she drapes a sari. And that money is just a byproduct of it. So it's never necessarily about the money. Money will definitely flow, provided you are in 100% alignment of what you want to do. So, you know, it's like a commitment relationship. You should be loyal and 100% committed to your art and to your creativity. Just like we are 100% loyal and committed to our partners. we look them as they are. To them, we accept them as they are. They are worthy of everything. We'll give all the love that we have in our heart to our partners, to our family. Why can't you do the same to your pursuits or to your desires or to your dreams, or for that matter, the piece of creativity that you do? Why is always there is an element of, judgment? There's an element of, what if it doesn't work out? Of course, there are fears. But if you are willing to walk the path of knowing who you truly are, giving it an expression, I can tell you it's 100% guaranteed you will be held by the universe. And the last question, imagine yourself as the master of your life. And this is not just imagination, that's the fact. You are the master of your life, the decision maker and the executor. And you have all the necessary resources in your life. There is no need for validation and acceptance for others. What is one thing that comes naturally to you, and you can do that all your life without getting tired? To me, I can speak all my life without getting tired. 24 hours, I lose track of time. I can write all my life. It comes naturally to me. I don't have to think. I just have to allow what it comes to me. So ask within yourself, what is that one thing that comes naturally to you? Because most of the times we take that thing for granted. We think, oh, is this really a gift? Everyone does it. What is so special about it? No, that's your speciality. You are not able to say it because it is natural to you. That might not be natural to somebody else. So, I would like to end my talk here with one of my another favorite authors, Julia Cameron. And she's the author of one of the best-selling books, The Artist's Way. And she writes, "The Creator made us creative. Our creativity is a gift from God. Our use of it, the use of this creativity, is our gift to the God." So it's like a bargain. We received something and we are giving it back to him, to the God. Accepting this bargain, to me, it's a truth. Accepting this truth is a beginning of true self-acceptance. So yeah, thank you so much for being patient with me, for listening to whatever I wanted to say to you. And thank you so much, Geeta ma'am, for coming on camera. It means a lot to me, all right? And yeah, we can open the floor for questions, Q&As, comments, anything which you would like to say, ask, or maybe in the chat box, or you can come on screen and ask me directly. I would love to answer all of them.
If anybody is having any question, you can unmute and ask the questions.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta ma'am. Sangeeta ma'am is one of my teachers and mentors, and my healing journey, the journey towards being a therapist, started with her guidance. So my love and gratitude to you, ma'am, and thank you for being here. Mr. Arun asks, who is me and who is soul? Well, I think I'm not an expert in answering this question. Someone who is a great master can answer you this question, because I don't want to belittle any concepts which is related to soul. So pardon me for this. Thank you so much, Ankit. Thank you for your presence here. Thank you so much. art comes from subconscious mind, then how does really mastery of a specific art form? Aman, can you explain your question a little bit more? Or maybe you can unmute yourself and ask your question. I didn't really understand your question. If art comes from subconscious mind, then how does really mastery of a specific artwork? So are you trying to ask how can we master a specific artwork, or if art comes from subconscious mind, then how will practice affect it? So there are various forms of art, Aman. There is, if the art comes naturally to you, it is coming from your subconscious mind. If it is an acquired art, then you need to practice it. And when you practice it, by the law of repetition of the mind, it becomes a part of your subconscious mind, and then it becomes your natural process. So there are two forms here. You can maybe distinguish the art that you are trying to practice, is it natural or you're trying to acquire it? In both the ways, whether it is natural or acquired. In the first form, it comes directly from the subconscious. In the second part, after practicing it through the law of repetition of mind, it becomes a part of your subconscious mind, and then it becomes a natural. Thank you. Thanks, Aman. Thank you for asking this question.
Thank you, Tanistha. It was a very interesting talk. Yes. Really liked it. So what I understand is it's just being mindful, right? Whatever you're doing, just be mindful, isn't it? Whatever, however little or whatever it is, if it's your passion, just put yourself fully into it, right? Is it what?
Yes, it is much more than that, being mindful. Again, this is what I understand. I might
Yes, definitely. Yes.
So my understanding is, all I wanted to say, if there is anything which you want to create in your life and you don't know it. So I remember in one of my sessions, one of my clients asked me that there is something which is she knows that there is something which is trying to come out of her, and she doesn't know what it is. And she says, maybe it might be a painting, it might be I go for a travel. And then I said, no, but you have to drop your conclusions, what it is that is trying to come out of you. Because if you conclude something, you stop it, you put an end to whatever unknown is trying to come out of you. So more than being mindful, of course, being mindful is a very good thing to be in the present moment. To me personally, being open is more relevant with respect to the talk we are having.
Okay.
So if you remain open to whatever needs to come to you, whatever needs to flow through you, and you're okay with being in that unknown zone, you're open to the unknown possibilities and potentiality which is there, which you are not known yet.
Yes.
Right? Then you allow yourself to create something.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you so much. So yeah, over to you. The School of Ancient Wisdom. Tell me what's the course now.
Okay. This is Puni here. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay. And now, see, one thing we all know that involving ourselves in any work, any creative or whatever it is a meditation. Not the real meditation you sitting and doing. That is different. Okay, this is also meditation. No, we all have 24 hours. Is it practical to get ourselves involved with so many things? I don't think it is possible.
Okay.
See, I'm being a mother one side for a teen kid. wife,
Hmm.
working under some authorities in the emergency department, one side. Even if you take a housewife, okay, maybe like she doesn't go out, but still she's at home, irrespective of whatever it is, that we call, no, everything you do, you dedicate yourself, be passionate and then do it. But I feel it is all nice to hear, read kind of a thing, but practically 100% or passing percent, whatever it is not possible.
Yeah. So thank you so much for asking this question. And I truly appreciate what you asked. So firstly, yes, of course, personally, I am not in the capacity of a wife, of a mother as of now. So yes, it might be true. Whatever I am speaking, it's all, it's all airy, it's all rosy, and it might not be practical. I am not denying any of the possibility that you said. At the same time, what I would like to share, that maybe at this point in your life, whatever you're going, whatever, your daily routine is, you might not have time 24/7 because you have other responsibilities at this point in your life. How can you, I would like to invite you to maybe just reflect upon what I'm just now going to say. How about just planting this subtle thing as an idea, as a seed in your life, that you create space for something energetically, and you allow yourself to be a medium to something which you want to create. So in my understanding, even though we have 24/7, we all have same time, we have different responsibilities. But when I talk about creating space in our life energetically, it's not always about the time. It's more about, it's more about the energetics thing. And space has nothing to do with age. That intention of planting or having a more bigger space in your life can come to you at any age in your life, or for that matter, any point of time in your life when you feel you're ready for it. So we all have different phases in your life. Maybe at this point in your life, the whatever phase is going on, of course, there is lack of time and space. But know that this is not the truth. This is not the reality. This particular phase of your life is devoid of time and space which you want to create. Maybe a phase comes in your life wherein you can have a bigger time and space for what you want to create. But for that, you need to be open and plant that intention in your life, in your heart, that I want to create space in my life. For whatever time, for whatever, at whatever phase in your life it comes, you're ready to receive it. Another thing. So this is one understanding which I want to offer. You might take it, you might not take it. Secondly, so at one point in my life, I was, involved in some other work, and I was asking this myself, oh, I'm not getting time for my writing. I'm not getting time for my journaling. And my day just goes like this. How about whatever is happening in your life at this point of time, your responsibilities, your daily chores, whatever it is preparing you to become the person that you need to be when you create something. So let's say when I was struggling in my life with what I want to do and what I don't want to do, whether I should go for this or I don't want to go for this, or I was involved in academics, so many classes. If all those things have not happened to me, I would not have become the person at this point in my life wherein I can write about entire life. So it's like two things. Firstly, understanding that whatever is happening in your life is helping you to become, it's like a preparation phase, to become the person who you need to be at a later stage in your life when you want to do something or create something. And secondly, having an intention to to invite bigger space in your life, maybe at a later phase in your life when the time will be right. So I hope, so that's my understanding of what you asked. I hope I gave something to you.
It became like Sadhguru is replying.
Not at all. With
It
all
was
my
no.
love, gratitude to all the masters.
No,
So
no.
I
What?
went to what you asked me in a different capacity. I was able to answer it.
No. What I mean, Sadhguru, is you ask a question to Sadhguru, he will never answer to that question. He will hit around that question. Okay. The second thing was, see, I'm not telling it's only to you. The book we read, or the masters we read, I mean, all those kind of things. Okay. We hear one thing, we need to accept ourselves.
Say it again.
One needs to accept ourselves. Whatever we are, accept ourselves. Okay. I mean, I'm not asking this question for me. Okay. I'm quite a different kind of a person. I accept everything. I'm talking on the people. See, there are some people, they cannot accept themselves. Could be weaker on the expression, or weaker on mentally very weak person, or inward person, whatever it is. Okay. One challenging is that accepting themselves. Okay. Let's assume they accept themselves. But after they accepting themselves, who is going to the other person accept them? There are a lot of things we have. For example, you think I'm a very bold person. Yes, not think I'm a very bold person. But one of the things is that we are living in the society. Okay. It's very, very difficult for the people to accept what you are. And we have to live. I mean, there is one more thing. I see all the quotes. Don't care for the society, don't care for the people. Whatever you are, you accept, you be original. That doesn't happen practically because we are living in the mid of the society. We are not living in the jungle.
Right. What's your question? I get what you're saying, but I want to know the question.
That's what I'm
Thank
telling.
you so much.
The books are you. I mean, I'm telling you means it's not like you. Always they say accept yourself, accept yourself, accept yourself. But we accepting ourselves, the world doesn't accept you on few parameters. So what is the point in you accepting yourself? Because we have to live in the society, in mid of the society. We cannot live in the jungle. I accepted myself. I don't care for the others. So accepting ourselves, whatever, that is a wrong statement. Sorry. In many cases.
I can answer this question for as long as I want, but due to the paucity of time, I just wish to say one statement. There's a difference between accepting yourself from a space of love, and then there's a difference between accepting yourself from a space of seeking validation. So you have to ask yourself from what space you are accepting yourself. Is it coming from the space of love? That yes, I accept it. And when you accept yourself from the space of love, you don't go to other people and ask them to accept you, firstly. Secondly, at the same time, acceptance does not put a stop or an end to your growth. So the person who accepts himself or herself from the space of love will always remain open to the possibility of growth, transformation, and healing, changing something that needs to be changed. All right. And when a person accepts himself just out from the space of, that feeling which you are saying, I just accept myself, from that feeling of stubbornness. All right. Then comes, that person will go to other people to ask for validation. So even acceptance has many connotations. So in your life, or for that matter, if anyone comes and asks you for acceptance, just tell them from what space are you coming from. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, I guess
Thank you so much. Yeah, if we have any question, like I can direct her number to you. So thank you so much, Tanisha ji.
thank you so much Lovely meeting you all. Thank you for all the questions and patiently listening to me. And thank you for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.